Welcome to the first official Roux Choux entertaining channel episode. Today it's mixed berry hand pies. Pastry can sometimes be a little intimidating, but there's really no need. The crust is very easy, simple ingredients. The main thing with any crust is about keeping everything cold. I know you've all heard that. But my mantra is cold hands, cold butter, cold surface. Every time I make these for a party, they're gone before we even get to the real drinking. So without further ado, allons-y, mixed berry hand pies. Okay, let's preheat our oven to 350. We're going to work on the pastry and then put that in the fridge to rest while we work on the filling. At this point, you'll need to have your sugar, salt, and ice water handy. So let's toss in our 150 grams of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of sugar. And then just whisk it around in the food processor. Then we're going to add our butter, pretty much all at once if you can. Pulse the food processor, or if you get impatient like me, you can hit low for some little bursts and get that butter processed to that sandy texture we talked about. Then we're going to add the ice water. Several tablespoons in the beginning is what I usually do, and then add 1 tablespoon at a time until that dough starts to stick to the food processor bowl and kind of just makes a ball and moves with the blade. We don't want to go much further with that because we don't want to strengthen those gluten strands in the dough and make it tough. Drop your dough straight out onto the floured surface, and with your floured hands you want to press a little just to get it workable. Now here I vary slightly. I have kind of combined a couple of steps through the years because I didn't like bringing the crust back to room temperature to be able to work with it after it being in the fridge. So for me, I roll out my pie crust and I cut them and then wrap them and stack them and put them in the fridge to rest. I suggest that you put your cling wrap down, then you're going to stack your pie crust alternating with those parchment squares that I mentioned in the recipe below. At this point, we're going to toss this in the fridge and tidy up a bit. Now, we live in Ponchatoula, which is the strawberry capital of the world, self-proclaimed. So I like to use my strawberries, but for these recipes and for pies in general, just be careful with how many you use because strawberries do have a lot of water. So blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, all of those are wonderful. In this recipe, I use a half of a peach and just gives a different flavor profile. The orange zest that comes into the recipe here as well just adds to the depth of the flavor, and the lemon juice brings in that little bit of acidity. Add your fruits, sugar, butter, orange zest, and lemon juice, along with your spices and your salt, to a saucepan on the stove. I usually like to use a ceramic coated cast iron pot. They just cook well and distribute heat well, but of course that is not mandatory, just preference. Give your ingredients a stir and let those berries just start to cook down a little bit, probably about 3 minutes. Then you're going to add that 1 tablespoon of water and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch that you previously mixed from the recipe. Stir that into your mixture and allow that to cook down for another 3-ish minutes until it starts to thicken and turn into a lovely filling. Remove from the heat and let it cool completely before you use it. So we are ready to assemble pies. If you've enjoyed this episode, please give us a like and a subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. Qu'est-ce que je vais te nommer? Je vais te nommer l'amour, l'amour tendre.
shake à la raison.
Thank you so much for baking with me today. My son says that my love language is acts of service because I love to cook for my family, and so many of you do too. So please join us back here. We're happy you are with us today, and we hope that you will be here for our future episodes. The recipe and various links you might be interested in noted down below in the description. Please leave a comment, let us know how you liked the episode, and if there's anything particular that you would like to bring home from New Orleans, because I will make an episode. See you next time.